Thematically speaking, Gintama is arguably one of the most consistent and well-balanced series I think I've ever seen, possibly behind One Piece. Any idea mentioned within Gintama, even for a brief moment, Sorachi will surely come back to expand on that idea, and unlike many other shonen authors, he never fails to conclude anything. Nothing is ever left open-ended. The thing with Gintama is that it isn't unique in the idea that it presents, it simply does them better. With that being said, it's time that I address the false claims made on Gintama. Because before watching, I paid attention to these claims that people had, and after watching a good amount of Gintama episodes, I realized that most of these are completely and utterly false. Gintama is generally known for being boring as hell. Whenever I hear about Gintama, it's either that they love it or they found the first 100 episodes boring, but the rest amazing, or they just simply hate it because it's boring. It's only very rare that I see a person that truly appreciates Gintama for what it is. I mean, I think I kind of see where they come from when they say it's boring, but I disagree. The only reason they're saying that is because they've been fooled. Let me explain. Gintama is rated highly everywhere. It's constantly praised for being an immensely emotional series. What this does is then give people looking at the reviews a false expectation. Whenever people praise a series, their automatic assumption directly becomes a series that is fast-paced, cliffhanger after cliffhanger, and super deep the second you get into it. So when they go into Gintama, their expectations are utterly crushed. Especially since all Gintama fans talk about is serious moments. Hardly will they repost comedy moments. No. It's all about the serious moments. That's also another thing giving the illusion of, Gintama being this intense action anime when it's really not. Gintama is quite literally the opposite of those expectations. It's slow, it doesn't have many cliffhangers, and it won't immediately give them the deep moments that they all yearn for. It's the same issue with One Piece. They come in expecting some intense action after action episodes, but it really just starts off as a chill journey about friends on a ship. Gintama, alongside being boring, is also known for being unfunny. Comedy is incredibly subjective, and I can't say much about this, but I'll say what I can. A lot of people criticize Gintama comedy as being incredibly childish and repetitive, both of which I disagree with. A claim that I heard getting thrown around a lot is that Gintama just has boring fart jokes getting thrown every episode, and that couldn't be further from the truth. It's actually quite a diversified range of comedy on contemporary society, especially in regards to quote-unquote gaming or otaku culture. Gintoki often acts as a sort of older person viewing technology, like kids are on their phone too much, etc, etc. These episodes are often the funniest, and that's because it shows the ridiculousness of some of these people's situations and struggles. So yeah, comedy arcs in Gintama are pretty good. These comedy arcs are escalated really well. They first start off with a semi-serious and humorous situation, which then gets escalated into a weird and wacky adventure to resolve the issue. While finding the solution, a warm message and slow characterization is often paired with. And what I mean by that is that the arc will be full comedy based, but there will be like a small important drop of narrative and thematic information, and a lot of the times it's related to Gintoki's backstory and gives the reasons to why he acts in the way he does. But yeah, the warm messages are often given out by Gintoki. He's quite the hopeful character and speaks a lot on moving forward and uplifting individuals to face their problems head on with a stoic and warrior mindset. Like bro, if people paid attention to this slow style of character progression, I feel like they'd enjoy it so much more and they wouldn't be as bored, because there's always something deeper to gain with Sorachi's arc writing. I mean, me personally, I didn't find some of the arcs funny, yet they were almost always entertaining because the show is just so incredibly random and unconventional. I mean, who doesn't love a nice anime or manga reference? Sorachi hike you on some violation behavior, but it's all fun and games. I think the most important thing to me is just how well intertwined every aspect of Gintama is. Like somehow Sorachi seems to keep up with technology memes, manages to reference every anime ever, teaches us how to story, write and draw, simultaneously pushing forward a larger narrative and then adding a mini message at the end of pretty much every other episode. It's like a 5-in-1 shampoo. Like bro, you got the shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, face wash, toilet bleach. But yeah, all of this comes together to make the heart of Gintama, which is the friendly and wacky adventures that they have together. I'm at around about episode 234, and my honest thoughts are that the comedy arcs are simply better than the serious arcs. And the point of this isn't to put down the serious arcs, but like, it's to show you that they truly do compare to serious arcs. Like comedy arcs are so underrated in Gintama, it's mind blowing. So before you get into Gintama, change your mindset and the way you approach this anime. Now that we've addressed all of those issues, it's time that I talk about what Gintama currently is to me. I feel like the best way to describe Gintama is homey and hopeful. Maybe soulful is the right word. And the reason for that is very simple. And bro, look, I know this is a Gintama video, I hate to mention One Piece again, but it feels almost like pre-time skip. It's got that sort of have faith and trust in me and we struggle together type vibe. Like there's this heavy emphasis within Gintama about the trivial moments in life and how this gives meaning to everything you do. Those friendships we see being slowly built in those sad, happy, mellow, hopeful moments are all the trivial moments. I also try to go about my daily life like this. It's finding beauty in the mundane that will really allow you to feel the bliss in life. Because the thing is, like, the super lows and highs come and go all the time, but the mundane will always stay there. The normal days will take up most of your life, and finding the beauty in those moments, it will make you appreciate life so much more. I feel like this is the true way to live. And another area where the personal impact comes from is the fact that the comedy arcs build up towards the serious arcs. The comedy arcs are there to almost train for the serious moments. So yeah, let's talk about the serious arcs of Gintama. To say the least, these arcs are beautiful. The true value in these arcs are that they're so narratively rare and expensive. The comedy arcs are so simple to write up that it gives them loads and loads of time to plan and perfect his serious arcs. Like he's balancing so many aspects of storytelling that it's borderline crazy. All the strength and bonds that the characters have gained up in the comedy arcs are being put to the test. The tension is soaring high, the arcs are tear-jerking time and time again. Even when you thought you wouldn't cry, you cried. Just when you thought it couldn't get better, it got better. The thing is that especially in serious arcs, especially the first serious arc, Benizakura, the most apparent thing to me was the contrast between the comedy arcs and the serious arcs. The comedy episodes were so dreamy and relaxing, but when you got to the serious arcs, Sorachi wasn't afraid to kill, psychologically scar, physically scar, and completely tenfold the pressure on our main squad. And that gives so much more meaning to what actions the characters take in the way of the samurai. It's not all sunshines and rainbows. There are often harsh consequences for standing up and protecting your rules. So what is that, protecting your rules? One of the major themes of Gintama is fighting for what you stand for. And every serious arc is a test of their conviction to that. Being true to your way and your rules is being true to your soul. So hopefully this highlights the narrative importance of both the comedy arcs and serious arcs. I've seen some people just watch the serious arcs of Gintama alone, and that's utterly ridiculous, and you won't even get quarter of the enjoyment you would get if you watched Gintama fully. The thing with other shonen animanga is that the authors fear. Yeah, they fear doing what Sorachi does so confidently. I mean, a series that was on the brink of cancellation, a series that sneak disses others and makes light of others as a joke obviously, that author will obviously gain some higher level of confidence to experiment and act more harshly with certain aspects of a series since he knows his audience will take it in. That's why Gintama being unconventional is such an important thing as well. But yeah, the serious arcs are incredibly short, yet they have an incredible amount of impact concentrated into them. You can only realize their true value by enjoying the comedy of Gintama. So we've covered comedy arcs, serious arcs, all the main issues that people have with Gintama, but there's one thing left. How can we talk about Gintama without mentioning Gintoki? The symbol of hope himself, the charismatic, goofy, and scarred individual that is Gintoki. Gintoki is interesting because rather than immensely changing like Musashi or Thorfinn, he's a bit more like Luffy and Son Goku. And the way that their personality and viewpoints stay generally the same, but instead of changing immensely themselves, they change the people around them. Rather than development, we see more of his progression as a character, and as the story unfolds itself, he gains more and more depth. In the context of Gintama, we learn more and more about his past, and how that shapes him into the person Gintoki is today. Oftentimes people equate development and change with being some brilliant story writing, but what good is that change if it has zero substance? Usually to write static characters, authors must use them as a symbol of some sort. Gintoki fits that perfectly as he is the symbol of the sun being the representative of hope within Gintama. Gintoki brings hope wherever he goes, and this aspect of him is fully established in Yoshiwara. I can't go into detail on that because that's like spoiler and stuff, but when you get to that arc you'll understand what I mean. It really goes in depth on those symbols. Of course he isn't a fully static character, but he's largely static, and the reason I say that is because there's a huge aspect of him looking to the future and wanting to change and move on from his past. So let's talk about that, his past. Episode 1 quite literally sets this idea of past affecting present up. He's a character who finds peace in saving others as he was unable to save the people that truly mattered to him in his past. Like bro, usually I don't care for like relating to characters, but Gintoki, he really did hit home. Although he went through much greater tragedies than I did, I can still apply that aspect of his character to my life. That's what makes Gintoki valuable. That's also why the Yorozia was created. The company acts as a means for him to exercise that saving nature of his because he was unable to do that in his past. So yeah, 234 episodes, Gintama's already this good. I'm sure it'll get better and funnier. With that being said, it's time that we do some ranking and some ratings. Gintama currently sits at my number 13 spot, but I'll give you some Memesflowi history if you don't follow me on Instagram. So in the past 2.5 months of Gintama, I found myself ranking Gintama exceptionally high. After just 60 measly episodes, I had it on par with anime like My Hero Academia and Naruto. We then skipped straight to the top 20s, specifically the 18th spot on my list. At this point in time, I knew that it was going to be hard for Gintama to crack the top 15 because Code Geass and Tokyo Ghoul were there, and you know that's not easy to beat. But no, I ended up liking Gintama more than those as well. So yeah, I ended up at the number 13 spot. As we wrap this video up, if there's one message you want to leave with from this video, it's that the mindset and expectations will greatly change how you view Gintama. If you're going the way I recommend you to go in, trust me, there will be far more potential for you to enjoy it. So yeah, that's it. Peace.